question of the causes or reasons behind it.
Where's it from?
Springfield, Virginia.
طيب بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد اللهم إني أستغفرك وأتوب إليك اللهم وفقني. With regards to divorce rate increasing, questions from the United States, Springfield, Virginia. What do you think the causes are behind this, the alarming rate of divorce, etc.? First and foremost, this is a prophecy. The Messenger of Allah informed us. We've done a khutbah on this. How Iblis, he sends out his army and his soldiers, and he allows them or he encourages them and incites them to make fitna, to stir up fitna. And those who will be closest to Iblis, waliyadu billah, are those who have the greatest fitna. And from the greatest fitna is causing a man to divorce his wife. So first and foremost, this is something that the Prophet ﷺ tells us is going to take place. People will do it. It's going to happen. Let alone what Allah tells us with regards to the story of Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, that they learn a sihr. And from the greatest objectives of sihr is to split up a man and his wife. That's first and foremost. So this is something which is supernatural. It's a reality. It's going to take place. As far as what are some tangible reasons or some of the human causes behind divorce, then haste. Haste. Haste by men and haste by women. As soon as we get into a problem or an issue, divorce. As soon as we get into an argument, divorce. A man says, I'll divorce you, I'll divorce you, I'll divorce you. A woman says, divorce me right now, let me go right now, give me the khula right now, I'll take the children, you can pay me such and such from a mother, just let me go right now. We just had an argument. We just had a fight. You accuse me of cheating on you or looking at another woman or getting a second wife or whatever. Let's, subhanAllah. How do we go from 0 to 75, not 60? So rapidly. Just like that. I love you, you're the best. We get into an argument, divorce me, let me go, I don't want to have anything to do with you. So Allah tells us that man has been created in haste. Ajulan. Huh? Kana al-insanu, and the man is ajul, he's hasty. He's a hasty creature. Sabr is hard upon him. So that's the first reason, is being hasty. Reason number 2 is people knowing that divorce is an option, unfortunately. Alhamdulillah, we're not Christians. Divorce is permissible in our sharia. There is no guarantee that there's death do us part to death do us part. La. However, when people know that divorce is there, you can divorce, you can get remarried, khula, idda. The people oftentimes, they take marriage too lightly. They take it too lightly. It's like a crutch that they rely upon. Scaling the wall, knowing that you have on a safety harness. Knowing that you have on a safety harness. Knowing that there's a net beneath you. But knowing the fact that there's no safety harness, there's no safety net beneath you, and if you slip and make a mistake, if you lose concentration, khalas. So oftentimes people, they abuse the system. Another reason, wallahu alam, behind divorce, sometimes people, they just can't get along. And oftentimes they're not made for each other. Or it's not made, walaikum salam, to last forever. Alhamdulillah, we were together for these years. We had these beautiful children. Allah blessed us with many great memories. Khalas, I have my way. Lakum dinukum waliya deen. Hypothetically speaking, you have your way, I have my way. May Allah bless you. I won't abuse you, you won't abuse me. Peace be upon you. That's it. Every relationship is not meant to last forever. Friendship, marriage is not always meant to last forever. It was good while it lasted. Alhamdulillah, I met you, you met me. We had a good time. We were Muslims. We raised a family. For one reason or another, my heart changed, your heart changed, this and that. Jazakallah khairan. Peace. I'll be here whenever you need me, inshallah, for the children. I have respect for you, you have respect for me. I'll visit your father and mother, they visit me, and we keep things respectful. But it's not always meant to last forever. Some things are meant to what? Be what they are, as Allah has decreed them. All right? So oftentimes people don't realize this. Another reason behind divorce, oftentimes, is selfishness and greed. Selfishness and greed. Sometimes some spouses are extremely selfish. Husband is very selfish. He only thinks about himself. Or a woman is extremely selfish and she only thinks about herself. Or the husband is greedy. The wife is greedy. And the greed and selfishness can mean anything. It could be greed for money. It could be lust. A person could be selfish. I don't want a second wife. You can't get a second wife. If you get a second wife, divorce me. What heck is that? So greed and selfishness. And as you can see, these things are major character flaws of the human being. Human is greedy by nature, selfish by nature, hasty by nature. It's the nature of the human. And that's why the Muslim is supposed to make jihad in cultivating him or herself. All right? Another reason behind divorce is neglect. Neglect. Okay? Neglecting small problems and allowing those small problems into big problems. As we say in the old statement of wisdom, a stitch in time saves a stitch in nine. A stitch in time saves a stitch in nine. You have a small rip in your sock, a small hole in your sock. If you take care of it, you stitch it up, then bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, you can save 9 stitches later on. You can save the whole entire sock. When you see a small rip in your coat or your jacket, you stitch it up. This is what our grandmothers used to tell us when we were younger. Our non-Muslim grandparents, they used to make this statement. Some school teachers, a stitch in time saves a stitch in 9. So oftentimes there's an argument or there's a problem or the woman is upset or the man is upset and the spouse ignores it and neglects it. And then a year goes by, 2 years go by, and a small tiny argument or misconception or misunderstanding or jealousy or whatever it is, now and what? It's out of control now. And that is a serious, serious gaping wound in your marriage. And oftentimes it's impossible to repair it. So many men, they neglect their wives' feelings, emotions, needs, wants, desires, and vice versa. Many women, they neglect their husbands, their husbands' wants and needs and things like this. Everyone understand this? The last thing that I would say is the tongue. The tongue is one of the greatest reasons behind divorce. Husbands, they abuse their wives, they call their wives names, disrespect their parents, their fathers, talk about how they look, say nasty, evil things to them. And oftentimes it hurts a woman's heart. And sometimes the wound never, ever heals. Or if the wound heals, the scar remains. And that leads to the previous point that I mentioned. That it was a bad thing that you said to her when you were angry or upset, and she never, ever forgot about it. And then later on, it turns into a bigger issue through another argument. Or vice versa. Women, they disrespect their husbands, saying sarcastic things, nasty things, evil things, making jokes unnecessarily, saying things unnecessarily, always making a problem and an issue over every single thing. That is a thing which annoys a husband, and in most cases, a husband is not going to forget. And it's going to be a means of it being a scar on him as well. So these are some reasons behind divorce, and divorce means such at an alarming rate, waliyadhu billah. And there are other reasons as well that we've explained in other classes and lectures. Wallahu a'lam. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Speaking about the tongue, I heard a hadith where it says that every morning before we wake up, our organs look up at the tongue, and they say, "Trust the lafina," because if you're straight,
Keep it. Thank you. The hadith with regards to every morning when the son of Adam wakes up, the organs, the body parts, they all curse the tongue. And it says, fear Allah regarding us. فَإِنِ اسْتَقَمْتَ اسْتَقَمْنَا. If you're upright, we're upright. And if you're crooked, then we are crooked. It's a famous narration. It's a well-known narration. It's not necessarily authentic from the Prophet. It's not necessarily authentic from the Nabi. But it's a well-known riwayah mashhura. وَلَعَلَ الرَّاجِ فِيهَا الْوَقْفِ إنه موقوف أو أنها موقوفة. It's موقوف. Some of the ulama consider it to be authentic. There lies no doubt that the meaning, inshallah, is very profound. An extremely profound meaning. The tongue and what the tongue leads to of good or of evil. How you can make or break someone by what you say to them. How you say it to them. There's no doubt about that. Wallahu alam. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
What can a Muslim benefit? What can a Muslim benefit from his name? When you say what motivation from his name, what can you say about the motivation I can get from my name, Muhammad Salah?
Question is Farwaniya from Farwaniya, Kuwait. What does a Muslim get from his name? What do you benefit from your name as a Muslim, and what could I get from my name being Muhammad Salah? A very important question. And we've done a khutbah about this with regards to the power of the name and the symbolicism of the name. The Prophet ﷺ, or before the Sunnah, we have the Quran that talks about the name. With regards to Allah Azza wa Jal, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. He taught Adam the names of all things. And the foundation of knowledge and science is a name, is ism. The name and the title of a thing. You learn a language, a foreign language, you start learning names and titles of a thing. And these titles and these names, they symbolize other things. And you'll find a great deal of benefit in the tafsir of those ayats from Surah Al-Baqarah with regards to what Allah taught Adam and why Allah chose to teach Adam those names first and foremost. That's first and foremost, all right? Then we have the prophets and the messengers. Allah Azza wa Jal, He tells us about how they wanted children, how they had children, how they were blessed with children, how they had blessing dhurriya, blessed progeny, and how they were named and they had titles. I've called my daughter this. Everyone understand this? Son, father, so on and so forth. As far as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the Ibn Qayyim in his excellent book, Tuhfatul Wadud, fi Ahkam al-Mawlud, he speaks on the rulings of newborns. And he has several chapters in which he discusses Ahkam al-Tasmiyah, the ruling of names. The ruling of names and the wisdoms behind the child given a name or being given a name on his 7th day. And what the Messenger of Allah said about Abdurrahman and Abdullah. And what the Messenger of Allah said about Harith and Hammam. And what the Messenger of Allah said about Mur and Harb. Okay? With regards to the best names being Abdullah and Abdurrahman. With regards to the most truthful names being Harith and Hammam. One who plants or sows seeds. Hammam, one who thinks. And the dislikes name Mur, bitter. Harb, war. The symbolicism of the name. When the people differed over what to call their sons, he says, Sammi binaka Abdurrahman. He says, call your son Abdurrahman. So the many authentic hadith, Ibn Qayyim explains the symbolicism and the power of the name and how the child is supposed to think about his or her name. All right? Very important concept. I said, me personally, many times, how I benefited from my name, Muhammad. My mother would remind me of my name. If I got into trouble, or if I did something that was stupid or foolish, or if I was hanging around the wrong crowd, she would say, I didn't call you Michael or Martin, I called you Muhammad. That's your name. You're not this kafir on the street, this whatever name or title she would use. You're a Muslim. And your name was supposed to be what? Muhammad. Al-Amin, trustworthy. You out here stealing and robbing people, cheating people, chasing girls. Your name was supposed to be what? Trustworthy, son of Abraham. Has to mean something. And it's the reason why your parents what? Picked that name for you. Okay? So the concept of the power of the name, the symbolicism of the name, there's no doubt about that. Okay? And oftentimes, many of us, we have names which are beautiful, but our character is totally different, unfortunately. A person may be Muhammad or Ahmed or Mustafa, and he may be madhmoom, dispraised, blameworthy, condemned. A person may be Salih, his name. A person may be wicked, fasid, talih. A person could have no submission to Allah, and his name is Abdullah. Waliyadu billah. So if the child is taught the importance of the name, the symbolicism of the name, the virtue of the name, everyone understand this? Then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, with the proper tarbiyah, the proper raising, upbringing, the two will what? Will meet and merge. And I would say at least, ala aswal ahwal, at least the name will be the resounding or the low voice in the back of the child's mind when he's about to do something wrong. He may not think about taqwa of Allah. He may not have the muraqabah of Allah, but he may be shy and embarrassed when he thinks about his mother's voice. Your name is Muhammad. I can't do this. Al-Amin, trustworthy. I can't take this from this person. Well, hakada. So we all know that this is a reality. As far as what can you benefit from your name, Muhammad Salah, then there's a famous hadith which is not authentic. خير الأسماء ما حمد وعبد أو كما جاء. The best names of those are Muhammad and Abdullah, Abdurrahman, so on and so forth. It's not necessarily an authentic hadith, but inshallah ta'ala, it's a sound meaning. Or the narration with regards to the names of the prophets. Inshallah, it's a sound meaning. Naming your son Ismail, Ibrahim, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yusuf, so on and so forth. So you have the name of the best of creation, Muhammad, alayhi salatu wasalam. It doesn't say Mahmud, Ahmed, Hamid, Humaid, Muhammad. Sigha mubalagha, mufa'al. Someone who's praised, 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 and praised, lauded and celebrated all of the time. Just think about what that means. Are you praised or are you dispraised? And if you're praised, why are you praised? For what? For having money, for being handsome, for having status, for being a fly dresser, for being funny, for being a good soccer player, for being a son of a rich, powerful business tycoon? Or are you praised for your deen, for your akhlaq, for your character, for you being selfless? The person or anyone that can call you any time of the day, you pick up the phone, you help them out, you deal with them, you're a service to the people. What are you praised for? And the concept of salah, you being righteous, you being straight, you being a means of reform and reforming others. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that can only be done unless you're connected with Allah, unless you have beneficial knowledge of the deen, righteous action, and inshallah ta'ala, you are proactive and you help people out in your society, in your community, in your country, your friends, your neighbors, your family members. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. May Allah bless you. May Allah give you the success to all good. Ameen. Questions from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Can you send your recitation of the Quran to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? When you recite the Quran, make it your sincere intention to worship Allah and ask Allah to accept it from you and make it for yourself. The Prophet ﷺ is the one who said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ is the one who brought the book that says that Allah علَّمَ الْقُرْآن. He taught the Quran. اقرأ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ. Read in the name of your Lord who created. The Prophet brought you that. So the Prophet is getting the reward of you reciting the Quran. He's getting the reward of you praying, of you fasting, of you doing everything which is righteous. So make the reward for yourself. Send prayers upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Do the things which are specifically legislated in the authentic hadith with regards to respect for the Prophet, love for the Prophet, and winning the reward for the Prophet. And Allah surely knows best.
How do we deal with toxic family members, especially parents and siblings, who verbally abuse them with things like you'll never be nothing or you're stupid, etc.?
Question from Sydney, Australia. Dealing with toxic family members, negative family members, pessimistic family members. You're stupid, you're nothing, you'll never amount to nothing, so on and so forth. Idfa' billati hiya ahsanu sayyi'ah. Allah says, repel that which is worse with that which is best. Alaikum salam. Remove the sayyi'ah with the hasanah. Someone says that you'll be nothing, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, it's not. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah bless you, Ummi. May Allah extend your life upon good. May Allah help you. May Allah reward you for you raising me. That's it. Don't curse your mother back. Don't respond to your mother negatively. Don't say anything nasty. Make dua for them. Make dua for them. And inshallah ta'ala, use that negative energy for fuel. Use the doubts, the negative, pessimistic, smart remarks to motivate you to be something. Motivate you to make your mark, to leave your impact. And we know that when we talk about the wide world of sports, there are many great athletes and champions and all types of legendary players only became what they became because of their pessimistic fathers or mothers, or those who said that you'll never amount to anything. You'll never be anything. You'll never turn out to be anything. You'll fail. You won't get accepted. You won't. So use the negative energy as a fuel to move forward. But don't always respond back and be nasty back. You don't stoop down to their level. Make dua for those family members. And make sure that you're a good son, a good daughter. Try your best to be the most pious son. Even if they speak ill of you, alhamdulillah. Don't say anything to them. You keep moving forward, inshallah ta'ala. Pray for them. Be of service to them and kill them with kindness. Wallahu a'lam.
Does a man get a sin if his wife goes out without proper hijab? Example, tight clothes, pants, makeup, perfume, etc.
Where's the question from? Walaikum salam. Question is from Sweden. With regards to, does a man get a sin if his wife goes out the house dressed improperly? If you know that she's dressed improperly, you don't advise her, you don't teach her, nor do you enforce the rules upon her. Listen carefully. Advice, ta'lim, teaching your wife the proper hijab, advising her the proper hijab, supplying the proper hijab, and enforcing. You cannot leave the house dressed like that. You cannot leave the home dressed like that. I know you're a grown woman, but if you refuse to wear the proper hijab, you cannot be my wife. You cannot leave the house like that. An ultimatum has to be made. It is not allowed for a woman to go outside to disobey Allah every single day, wearing impermissible clothes, perfume, makeup, tight things, this like that, and you allow it. That's impermissible. So if you have given advice, you've advised her, you've taught her, you've supplied the proper hijab, you've said it kindly, properly, in a proper way, and she refuses, then it's no sin upon you. It's no sin upon you. If you cannot go to the next level, you don't want to get a divorce, it's difficult, it's a hard situation, inshallah, it's no sin upon you as long as you've done your best. As long as you've done your best. Wallahu a'lam. If you haven't done your best, you don't care, you don't advise, you don't make the ta'lim, alaikum salam, you're responsible. But I'll say this, and the bottom line is, unfortunately, oftentimes, not all of the times, but oftentimes a woman's hijab is a reflection of her husband's behavior and practice of Islam. Let's ask ourselves a serious question now. Do you have a beard? No, you don't. You have a full beard? No, you don't. Your beard is either shaven or trimmed or hacked all the way down, big mustache. Are you wearing a thobe? Are your pants above your ankles? Do you wear a kufi? Do you cover your head? No. You can walk down the street and no one knows that you're a Muslim. No one has no idea that you're a Muslim. Not a beard, not a kufi, not a sajda mark, nothing. You can blend in and do whatever you want to do. How do you think your wife is going to dress? How do you think she's going to want to dress? What is her understanding of Islam? What's her practice of Islam and of the sunnah of the Prophet? It's an unfortunate reality. And on the other side of extremism, we have brothers, two other sides of extremism, two more. Number two are brothers who do have beards and thobes. They look like Muslims, they're just like Muslims. And you find that their wives still wear tight overgarments, sheer kimars, perfume, a bunch of makeup, a bunch of fancy, flashy colors and designs. I don't know how that works. And there are many people like this. I don't know how that works. Rather, you'll find some brothers, and I'm going to say the reality. I'm not trying to offend no one, but this is the truth. You find some brothers, they'll talk about other people. They'll call someone a deviant. They'll say that masjid is a deviant. It's not a Salafi masjid. Don't take knowledge from this person. Don't benefit from this person. He's this, he's that, he's such and such. He didn't say this. And then you find him coming to the masjid in iftar, full beard, high thobe, and his wife has on a skimpy overgarment or a dress at the middle of her shins or her knees. All types of fancy colors and makeups. How is this even possible now? This person's a deviant. He's not Salafi. Is your wife Salafi? This is a real question. Is your wife Salafi? Would Imam Ahmed call her Salafi if he saw her walking into the masjid with a rainbow color overgarment on? And a tight shirt on and a dress? Some type of mix and match tunic top, kimar? But this brother, who's you're calling a deviant, didn't study, or he studied overseas, whatever the case may be. I don't think his wife is leaving the house dressed like that. What do you think, Alameen? The deviant brother that you can't take knowledge, I don't think his wife is what? I think his wife covers with all black gloves, niqab, and screen. And I think you need to focus your energy of calling someone a deviant and don't take on your wife who's dressed in this appearance, which it is what it is. Last but not least, the third tier of extremism and lack of proper understanding and just total ignorance are brothers whose wives do dress properly. His wife has on gloves, niqab, all black. You can't see what her skin complexion is. And he has on shorts and a shirt, a tight shirt. Shorts are just barely covering his knees. Or he has on a muscle shirt or a short sleeve shirt, tight muscle shirt. Smells good, looks good. He's wearing a watch, has on a bracelet, whatever the case may be. He's cool and hip. And he walks down the street in 90-degree weather, and his wife is covered in all black. How does that look? What message does that send to non-Muslims? What message does that send? The woman has to cover up. She has to wear a potato sack. She has to sweat in a 95-degree weather, and you look like you're on Palm Springs or Myrtle Beach. What message are you sending to the kuffar? Those who say that women are oppressed in Islam. The Sharia is misogynic. The Sharia is this and so on and so on and so forth. What are you sending to them? If your wife is dressed like that, that's how you should be dressed. And even if you don't wear thobe, which is not mandatory, have on a kufi. Have your pants above your ankles. Have some type of representation of Islam upon you for the non-Muslims to see that men and women have responsibilities, obligations, and there's an etiquette for both sexes in the deen. My wife is trying to be righteous, and what? So am I. Now I look cool and hip. I can go to a club and no one knows I'm Muslim, except for the beard maybe. And non-Muslims, they wear beards too nowadays, especially in Philly. And your wife has on full throbe, overgarment. That's not right. And many brothers, they do this. They say, I can't go outside with a thobe. I can't take my kids to the park with a thobe. I can't play with my son. Yes, you can. You can do anything in a thobe that you can do in pants and a short. You go overseas, you make Hajj and Umrah. You see brothers working on a construction, 20 stories in the air, drilling something, cutting something, and he's wearing a what? Thobe. You've not seen people doing heavy construction wearing thobes? People play soccer wearing thobes. You can do whatever you want wearing a thobe. Let alone the fact that if that's the case with you, how does your wife feel? Do you think she can chase the little 2-year-old daughter around with an overgarment on? You don't think her hands become sweaty? You don't think that her hands are dirty from touching stuff with the gloves? You don't think her eyelashes are bothered by the niqab? You don't think she's tired of getting stared at and harassed in New York City? Why has this woman got on a face mask? Is she going to blow up the place? How do you think she feels? So if your wife has to go through that, so should you. So there's a balance with regards to hijab, with regards to the proper hijab, with regards to covering, and the wife should be a reflection of the husband. The wife should be the mirror of the husband. Wallahu alam.
Is there a difference of opinion amongst the scholars regarding the permissibility of music? What evidence do they use to justify its permissibility?
Question is from Brooklyn. With regards to, is there a difference of opinion among the scholars of Islam with regards to the permissibility or impermissibility of music? Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he said with regards to music, he says, hiya khamrun nufus. He says it's the wine of the souls. It's the wine of the souls. Something which is highly addictive and very hard to get off of. That's what Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala said regarding music. As far as the actual question, is there a difference of opinion among the ulama, it being permissible or impermissible? Yes, there is. There is khilaf among the ulama with regards to music and singing. There's difference of opinion. What proofs do they use? What evidences do they use? So on and so forth. It's a very long scholastic discussion with regards to music and singing, the proofs and the evidences for it or against it. As far as those who say that it is permissible, then they say the asl is that things are permissible until proven to be impermissible. That's first and foremost. Secondly, they say the hadiths that deal with music and singing being impermissible are weak. And if they are authentic, then they're not clear and they're not directly to the point. Sarih al-dilala. Thirdly, they use different narrations in which there was singing in the time of the Prophet. People sung, whether it was a jariyah singing or this person singing, inshad, al-hidad, the camels, driving the camels, singing songs to the camels, and things like this, and things like this. The Prophet ﷺ making certain comparisons with regards to mizmar, all right? The concept of the recitation of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And also the concept, and there are other proofs and evidences they use. Enough. As far as those ulama say that it is haram, then they use verses from the Quran, the interpretation of many of the Sahaba and the Salaf al-Salih, and they use many hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ with regards to the end of time. And people will come, and they will make certain things lawful, they will perform certain things, they will practice certain things. And from those things, al-ma'azif, instruments of music, wind, pipe, string, whatever type of instrument it may be. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, what did he do and how did he react when those two young girls were singing? And the Prophet then stopped him and he said, Inna li kulli qawmin eida wa hadha eiduna. Every people, every nation has an Eid and this is our Eid. And the asl was with Abu Bakr. The asl was with Abu Bakr for stopping them from singing in the house of the Prophet ﷺ. That was the asl. And the Prophet stopped him and allowed him to do it. Or the concept of the duff being allowed as an exception. So if it's an exception, that means that the original rule is that it's not permissible to hit a drum unless it's such and such and such and such an event or an occasion. Okay? And there are many verses from the Quran, from Surah Al-Isra that they use and others with regards to the voice of shaitan. And that Allah Azza wa Jal, He responded to shaitan when shaitan made the promise to him that he will mislead the sons of Adam and snatch all of them. I will take all of them. I will catch all of them in my net, in my snare. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, go ahead, take them. Do what you can. And from what He says, what is your salt, your voice. And from that is music and singing. So there are many ayat and there are many ahadith, this is in brief, that the ulama of Islam use to state and to prove that music and musical instruments are haram. And singing, in many cases, if not most cases, is haram. The question was, is there khilaf? Yes, there is. Is the khilaf strong? Is it a valid opinion? That wasn't the what? Question. That was the amana. That there is what? Khilaf among the ulama of Islam. And I did not say that music is permissible. No one quote me saying that. I did not say that music and singing is what? Permissible. The question, we're asked about khilaf, and we mentioned the what? Khilaf, what their proofs and evidence is. Fair on what? Both sides in brief. باختصار. Wallahu alam.
If someone doesn't pray witness the way Hanafis do, is it wrong for them not to say anything in the first tashahhud when praying behind the Hanafi imam?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, this will be our last question tonight. Repeat the question, please.
Mitchell A.M. Springfield, Virginia. May Allah bless you. If someone doesn't pray witness the way the Hanafis do, is it wrong for them to not to say anything in the first tashahhud when praying behind the Hanafi imam?
With regards to praying witr behind a Hanafi imam, if you don't pray the witr that the Hanafis do, there are 3 raka'ah together, 3 raka'ah split up, 2 tasleems, 2 and then 1, etc. What do you do, etc.? In brief. First and foremost is living in the United States in 2019, many things are very unique and special. Things that didn't exist back in the day. And that is a huge, gigantic mixing cauldron, a melting pot. We have so many different races, professions, classes, all mixed together. And it wasn't necessarily like that back in the day. The people of this country were Maliki, 95%, 99% of them. Everything was one. The people in this country were Hanafi. That's how it was. The people in this country were Shafi'i. The people in this country, in this region, were Zahiri. The Imam is Zahiri, the judge is Zahiri, the student is Zahiri, the Qari is Zahiri. Everyone's on one madhab. And there are many countries that are still like this to this day. But in New York City, it's different. You're Hanafi, you have no madhab, you're Shafi'i, you're this, you're that, you're scholarly student. Everyone mixes together. So now, how do we keep this mixture from being explosive and volatile? There's no doubt about that. Too many gases in a pot. What? The poet, he said it always causes what? Explosions. It's a reality. So how do we keep peace now? You're black, I'm Guyanese, you're from Pakistan, you're from Kuwait, you're from Lebanon, you're this, you're that, and we all mix together. The Imam doesn't follow your madhab, nor your madhab, he follows his own madhab. What do you do now? What do you do? So we have to realize that living in the United States and the other many countries as well is very different. And there are many nawazil fiqhiyya jadida. All right? And from that is this mixing pot. The same applies to getting married. Huh, Abdul Raqib? Back in the day, people got married to their cousins. People got married to the people from their race because that's everyone in this country. Now things are different. You go to school with different races, different people. And oftentimes we have a volatile and explosive mixture of races and culture with regards to, I want to marry your daughter, you tell me no because of race. I can't marry your daughter, but we go to school together. I can't marry your daughter, but we pray together. It's a problem. So we have to realize that that's the bigger issue at hand. It's how to mix and blend and how to respect each other's different views and cultures according to the sunnah. That's first and foremost. Everyone understand this? And that is the higher aim of the issue. And if we don't deal with that issue, these smaller issues are going to keep popping up. These smaller issues are going to keep what? They're going to keep popping up until we look at the bigger picture. That we're all in New York City together as Muslims. We have to learn how to get along with each other and respect each other in the light of the authentic sunnah. As far as the specific question, then inshallah ta'ala, if the imam sits down on the second rak'ah, or only sits down on the third rak'ah, do whatever you can. If you want to make the tashahhud, make the tashahhud. If you don't have the time to make the tashahhud, then it's not upon you. The imam, he bears that responsibility. What's important is that you following the imam, that is the greater concept. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ. The imam has only been made to be followed. And you follow the imam in the outward actions. So this applies to witr, Hanafi, or any other issue. The Imam is in his third rak'ah, you're on your second rak'ah. The Imam is in his second rak'ah, you're on your first. You don't make the tashahhud. There's no extra tashahhud upon you. But you definitely sit down. وهكذا. So it depends. What's important is follow the Imam and the outward actions. If you miss the Fatiha, you miss the tashahhud for whatever reason, the Imam bears that responsibility. He bears that responsibility because you have to follow him. Wallahu alam. Wa sallallahu sallam wa barak.